Okay, guys. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. What's up? My name is Nicole, and I'm so glad to have you here tonight for our Sunday night Narcotics Anonymous basic text study time. Just so you know, I'm an addict and I've been sober since July 13th of 2015. I just celebrated 4 years sober yesterday, and I'm telling you what, you guys, I am so freaking grateful to be alive, for real. I never thought in a million years that I would not be shooting dope, and that's the real tea. I never thought that I was going to be able to stop using drugs. I thought I was going to die, with a needle in my arm. Hey, Sophia. So the point of these meetings, or these gatherings, this channel is to help spread a message of hope in recovery. And so that's why I started my channel, because I wanted to share what works for me with you guys. And that's why I share. Sorry, my hair's driving me crazy. I want to make it look nice so that way I don't look so much like a scrub. I have no makeup on or anything, you guys, and I'm just barefaced. And I do that a lot sometimes here on my channel. So if you're new and you're like, look at this girl, it's just because I just keeping it. This is just how I am. There's some days I'll come on here and my face will be beat to the gods. And then there's other days like today where I've been doing housework and keeping up with laundry where I'm just fresh faced. So now that I got all that out of the way, if you haven't already, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. It really does help me out a lot. Subscribe to my channel. And one last thing, if you can share my videos or my channel with one of your friends that's in, the struggle, that has an addiction, or maybe their loved ones have an addiction and they're trying to learn more about the disease of addiction, share my videos over there with those people, because that's the whole point. I'm trying to get my channel out to the people who need it. Okay? All right. Hey, Amy. Hey, Shannon. So, and I'm back on Facebook, ladies. So if you need anything and you just want to talk, you can always message me. I just got back on today because my Wi-Fi was all fucked up. But now I got that all straightened out. Amy, I'm so glad you're here too. I'm so glad all of y'all are here. Hey, Shannon, Sophia, and Amy. So, okay, guys. So you guys know that on Sunday nights we do the Narcotics Anonymous basic text reading. Okay, and last week we left off at, pretty sure we left off at step 3. Yeah, there's my book. We left off on page 25 at step 3. Now, I am not a professor of the 12 steps. I'm not a professional 12-step worker. I'm just an addict in recovery who has taken the steps 3 times through, and I'm on my 4th time going around. And I like to just share the book with you guys and learn with you guys, because every time I read in my AA book, it's like I find something new in there that I didn't see last time. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, wow. So every time I read through it, I learn something new. This is my first time to ever read the Narcotics Anonymous book. So when I got my book, my friend Sonia sent it to me. I got my book and I thought, I'm going to do this with my channel. I want to share this with my channel. So I was like, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do this together. So we are learning this together. We are reading this together, okay? So like, I don't know everything. I just try to share what I have learned with you guys. You know what I'm saying? So, page 25, step 3. If any of you guys, like I said, need anything, if you have any questions, just comment. I got my phone right here so I can see your chat messages right there. and I'll be looking over there, periodically. What I do is I read a little bit, and then we'll go over and discuss that paragraph until we get through step 3. I usually come on at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, but it is raining really bad right now. And I was like, let me get on while my Wi-Fi connection is still intact. Because anytime there's a storm happening, Lord, everything goes wrong. So let's get to it, y'all. So step 3, we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. As addicts, we turned our will and our lives over many times to a destructive power. Our will and our lives were controlled by drugs. We were trapped by our need for instant gratification that drugs gave us. This is so. I love how the Narcotics Anonymous, Hey Hike and Hippie book breaks it down and shares everything in like a more modern language. Because whenever I read my AA book, I love it. You guys, I'm obsessed with that book. I love reading it. But it's like that was written back in the 1930s, okay? So some of the like lingo is just like hard to understand. Some of the words I don't even know what they mean, so I'll have to get my dictionary out and look them up. So reading this, it's just like so just straight to the point. So it says, as addicts, we turn our will and our lives over many times to a destructive power. So our will and our lives, okay? Our lives is my life, and then our will is our thinking, if you were wondering what that is. Your will is your thinking. So when we were in active addiction, we were constantly turning our will, our thinking, and our lives, our actions, over to drugs and alcohol. Drugs and alcohol were our master. That is what made all of our decisions. And you're probably like, Nicole, drugs and alcohol didn't make my decisions. Drugs and alcohol have control over you when you are in active addiction. When you're in active addiction, you lose the power of choice, you guys, and those substances are what are making your decisions. When you're in active addiction, you're sick, and you're not the same person that you are today in sobriety. So will is our thinking, life is our actions, okay? We were trapped by our need for instant gratification that drugs gave us. Instant gratification, baby. And I'm still struggling with that. And I don't even do drugs anymore. I struggle with instant gratification when I work. It's like I want all the money to go to my bank account right away. When I start a new diet, like I have been trying to get healthy, you guys, and get some of this extra weight off, it's like I want to be skinny tomorrow. Hey, Khaleesi. Hey, Hannah. I want to be skinny tomorrow. Can it please happen quicker? When I have a headache and I take a ibuprofen or a migraine medication, I'm like, the minute I swallow it, is it not working yet? Is it not working yet? I think that we all probably struggle with instant gratification, even in our sobriety now. But for sure when we were in active addiction, because we practiced getting high every day. Hey, Cindy. And when we took our drugs of choice or drank our drug of choice, we knew that we were going to get that feeling. We knew that we were going to get that relief, right? It was a guarantee. We had faith that that drug or that alcohol was going to get us messed up, and it did. Krissy, I was just thinking about you yesterday, girl. I hit my 4 years sober yesterday. And we were in the chat last night, and I was like, I have not seen Krissy in so long. And I was literally going to text you today, but I totally lost track of my whole day. But girl, I'm so glad that you're here because I was really, really, really worried. And I have a whole list of people that I have written down that I'm going to text to check on. And I'm like, I have been so worried about you, girl. I'm so glad you're in here. For real. So instant gratification is something that all of us addicts and alcoholics, and even regular people, you guys, that don't struggle with the disease of addiction probably struggle with a little bit of, the want for instant gratification. During that time, our total being, body, mind, and spirit, was dominated by drugs. For a time, it was pleasurable. Then the euphoria began to wear off, and we saw the ugly side of addiction. So this is what I'm talking about when I tell you guys that we cross that imaginary line. You know, it starts out as like a good time. You're getting loaded, you're partying with your friends. You know, times are times are good, right? And then you get to a point in your addiction where you cross over into where the drugs and the alcohol are no longer a luxury. Like you're not doing them because you enjoy doing them. You're doing drugs because you can't live your life without doing them. Hey, Hike and Hippie, I'm so glad you're here and you stick around because I'm telling you what, you're going to learn so much. I have so many people that are here because they have loved ones that are in active addiction. And so you're in the perfect place at the perfect time because like we're literally like reading all about it right now out of this Narcotics Anonymous book. So that's what happens, you guys. And so anybody, let me just tell you guys this. Anybody, a lot of people have tried drugs. How many of you guys, when you were like 17, 18, 19 years old, smoked a doobie or did a line of cocaine? Maybe drunk a little beer or a little bit of vodka, right? All of us did. All of us had that point, maybe not everybody, but most of us had that point in our lives where we were experimenting, right? And we were hanging out with different people and we were younger and we were impressionable, okay? Did you know that out of all the people that have done that before, us addicts, our minds respond differently to drugs and alcohol. Our bodies respond differently to drugs and alcohol. So, you, a normal person who does not have the disease of addiction inside of them, okay, you can get drunk or go smoke a doobie, and your reaction to that drug or that alcohol is, I don't want to do that again. I didn't like that feeling, or I don't like feeling out of control, or that's enough for me. I'm okay. I don't need any more, right? But when an addict or an alcoholic takes drugs or alcohol into their body, it sets off a phenomenon of craving, okay? It's a reward sensors in our brain are tipped off and they start, that feels good, that feels good, that feels good, right? I need more, I need more. And so there is a difference between a person who has a disease of addiction and someone who doesn't. But see, the whole thing about the disease of addiction is you don't know if you have it until you take drugs or alcohol into your body. That's the tricky part. Now, we can look, through our, family members, our sisters, our brothers, aunts, uncles, grandma, grandpa, and we can look and say, well, did my parents struggle with addiction? Did my parents struggle with alcoholism? Or did their parents, right? And a lot of the times, if you have family members that have struggled with alcoholism or addiction, it's going to come down the generations and somebody is going to get it. And, in my family, my parents both come from alcoholic parents, but both of my parents are not alcoholic or addicts. But then me and my sister Michelle are both addicts, and my sister Christine is not an addict. You see what I'm saying? And so it skipped my parents, then went to me and my sister, skipped my sister, and now me and my husband are both addicts, and my son is only 5 years old. So we'll see how that goes. But do you see what I'm saying? It's like we don't know we have it until we take drugs into our body. And then once we take drugs into our body, there's a short window of time where we either are going to learn that that's not what we need to do and get help and quit, or we're going to go off the rails and we're going to lose our lives to addiction. And that's what happens. The way they explain it in the Alcoholics Anonymous book is that addiction is a manifestation of an allergy to drugs and alcohol. Okay. And so just like when you have a peanut allergy or you're allergic to bee stings, you don't know that until you eat a peanut or you get stung by a bee and break out in anaphylactic shock, right? Or have your throat swell shut. That's how it is with the disease of addiction. So and then a lot of people don't even realize that they're addicted or that they have the disease of addiction until they're so far down the course that it's too late and they're too far gone. Or there's nobody that's too far gone, but what I mean by that is they're into their addiction. You know what I mean? Like they are an active addict. Okay, they've crossed over, and it takes so many of us to wake up and realize, like, I've got a problem. You guys, I can remember, I think I was probably addicted to drugs for a good 7 years, maybe 5, because I was addicted to drugs for a total of 15 years. So I probably didn't realize it until halfway through my addiction that I was an addict. And I actually started admitting it and saying, yes, I'm an addict. You know, it took that long for for me to wake up and realize, yo, I got a problem, you know? Okay, so here I go. We face two choices. Either we suffered the Okay, so we face two choices. Either we suffered the pain of withdrawal or we took more drugs. For all of us, the day came when there was no longer a choice. We had to use. Having given our will and lives to our addiction, in utter desperation, we looked for another way. In Narcotics Anonymous, we decide to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. This is a giant step. We don't have to be religious. Anyone can take this step. All that is required is willingness. All that is essential is that we open the door to a power greater than ourselves. Our concept of God comes not from dogma, but from what we believe and from what works for us. Many of us understand God to be simply whatever force keeps us clean. The right to a God of your understanding is total and without any catches. Because we have this right, it is necessary to be honest about our belief if we are going to grow spiritually. So basically, you guys, your higher power is specific to you. Hey, Faye. You know what, Hiking Hippie? All we, which you can do as her sister, is encourage her to get sober, encourage her to get help. You know, if she watches YouTube, invite her over here to hang out with us. Like, that seed has to be planted. You know, for me, the seed of recovery was planted when I went to treatment for my first time. I was in rehab and I had never been to a meeting before, no AA, no NA. And a girl came in and she was sharing her story at the rehab. And I remember her talking about getting sober and having a good life and being happy, right? And I was just like, what? Like, you're happy without drugs? That's not true. There's no way, right? You're a fraud. Lies, lies. She was a good woman, but she lied. Hey, Angel. And so I really thought, like, there's no way that anybody is sober and happy. Like, they're just miserable, right? They're just lying. And then I see all these people that are coming and they're telling me, no, my life is really good and I actually really enjoy my life. I'm learning about myself. I'm happy. I have my family back. I have a job. I feel good about me. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy, because I didn't think that was possible for me, you know? And that's what happens to so many of us, is we get so far down and just in that darkness that we don't think that there's any hope for ourselves. But as long as you have breath in your lungs, you guys, there is hope. Anybody can make a change. Anybody can turn their life over. I do, and I don't enable. She won't talk to me because I won't give her money. You know what, Hiking Hippie? You're doing the best thing that you can do, okay? Because I'm telling you what, my sister Christine, when I was in active addiction, she was the same way. She would not give me money. She would not let me, like, come around her. She would be so embarrassed when I came around. And so I stopped going around her. But then my other sister, Michelle, like, we really enabled each other. And so we both stayed in active addiction a lot longer because we had each other to, like, lean on. Like, if I didn't have a place to live, I'd go live with her. And so it actually was the best thing that my sister and my parents could do, was to stop letting me live at their house and stop funding my life, stop giving me money, you know. And when they pulled their support away, then I really had to like start doing my own thing and making my own money and working my own jobs. And then life got even harder, you know. And so what will happen is she'll either like fall flat on her face and hit rock bottom and hopefully reach out for help, or she'll start hustling and making money any way she knows how to make it, and then hit rock bottom hopefully. But it just happens for all of us in like it happens for everybody in such different time spans, you know. I was in my active addiction for so long, it felt like 15 years is a long time. I'm only 37, you know. And so being in active addiction for, that's like almost half my life, you guys. That's, yeah, almost. Well, no, it's less than half my life because I'm 37. But anyway, um, it's like I can just imagine the torment, you guys, that my family went through, that my mom went through, like watching me killing myself slowly, you know? Um, I pray for your sister, Hiking Hippie, that she reaches out for help, because listen, there's no way that she's happy where she's at. You know, there's no way. Like I don't care what anybody says. It doesn't matter how good drugs make you feel. Like it's a miserable life to live, you guys. It's not fun because you can't maintain that lifestyle without doing things that any person would not be proud of. You know what I mean? Like unless you have copious amounts of money just like laying around the house, then you're out there doing things you're not proud of to get dope. Selling dope, copping dope, stealing it, whatever you got to do, you know? You know, and that I thought at the beginning that I was having a great time, but that's what happens, you guys. We all think it's fun and games at the beginning, right? But then what happens is it becomes not fun. And so we have to pray that that point of her addiction comes quick for her, that it becomes no longer a good time, because that's what has to happen. That good feeling, that fun, the excitement, that has to wear off, right? And it will. Believe me, it will. We found that all we needed to do was try. When we gave our best effort, the program worked for us as it has worked for countless others. The third step does not say we turned our will and lives over to the care of God. It says we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. We made the decision. It was not made for us by the drugs, our families, a probation officer, a judge, a therapist, or a doctor. We made it. For the first time since that first high, we have made a decision for ourselves. The word decision implies action. This decision is based on faith. We have only to believe that the miracle that we see working in the lives of clean addicts can happen to any addict with the desire to change. We simply realize there is a force for spiritual growth that can help us become more tolerant, patient, and useful to others. Many of us have said, take my will in my life, guide me in my recovery, show me how to live. The relief of letting go and letting God helps us develop a life that is worth living. Surrendering to the will of our higher power gets easier with daily practice. When we honestly try, it works. Many of us start our day with a simple request for guidance from a higher power. So every morning, you guys, when I wake up, I ask my higher power to guide me in my life and to show me how to live clean and serene. Simple as that. Simple as that. And then at night when I go to sleep, I thank my higher power for guiding me and showing me how to live and keeping me on the right path. There's some days, you guys, when I wake up and I'm just like, God, how am I going to make it through this day? Like, it's just like, especially, I keep on referring to Monday, but Monday I was just having the worst struggle, you guys. I was just feeling like, I was feeling like shit, you know? And the only thing I could do was talk with you guys and talk and ask my higher power to help me, because I was in a very, like I said, a crossroads, you know? When you're coming up on sobriety birthdays, I feel like this happens with a lot of people too. It's like this black, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like your addiction starts trying to wave its ugly head, right? Because my addiction is still inside of me, right? I'm just keeping it in remission by treating my addiction, by practicing doing the right thing, by practicing, coming here and sharing with you guys and talking about it, and, not isolating and staying connected. That's how I treat my addiction. But whenever I felt like I was at this like crossroads where my addiction was like cropping up and trying to like suck me back in, because I was fixing to hit that 4-year sober mark. And I've seen so many other addicts and alcoholics have that same struggle. It's almost like a self-sabotage, like we're doing so well and we end up messing up. And it's because of this, it's the addiction. The addiction tells me that I'm not good enough. My addiction tells me that I'll never amount to anything. It tells me that people on YouTube don't give a damn about what I'm saying. It tells me that I'm not helping anybody. It tells me that I'm not a good mom. It tells me that my husband doesn't love me. Like this is the way my addiction speaks to me, you guys. And my addiction is inside of me. My addiction is a part of me. It's the other part of Nicole. Like this is this is like, I kind of look at it like this. Like addicts are two people in one body. I feel like we have our, the angel side and the devil side, which is the addicted side. And I feel like it's a battle between good and evil within us, and the way we stay connected spiritually to our higher power and the way we stay connected to the fellowship and to other addicts and alcoholics really makes the difference in that fight between good and evil. You guys know what I'm talking about? It's like a spiritual battle, man. And I know y'all know what I'm talking about. Other people struggle with this too. I truly believe that people who struggle with mental illness and stuff like that have the same inner turmoil. Inner turmoil. That's what it is. It's like a void inside of us. And so as addicts and alcoholics, we're like searching and grabbing everything we can, trying to fill and stuff that hole full, right? And so when we get sober, we have to learn how to fill that hole with good things like helping others, prayer and meditation, spending time with our families, taking care of our kids. It's like these are good things and esteemable acts, like working our jobs, telling the truth and being honest, being dependable. These are all things that we fill ourselves up with that they benefit our recovery and they help us stay sober. Okay, let me get to reading. Surrendering to the will of our higher power gets easier with daily practice. When we honestly try it, it works. Many of us start our day with a simple request for guidance. Although we know that turning it over works, we may still take our will and life back. Okay, so this is what I'm always telling you guys about turning your will over, turning your thinking and your actions over to the care of your higher power, right? This is what I'm talking about. This is what we're talking about. Turning it over right here. So although we know that turning it over works, we may still take our will and our life back. We may even get angry because God permits it. At times during our recovery, the decision to ask for God's help is our greatest source of strength and courage. We cannot make this decision often enough. We surrender quietly and let the God of our understanding take care of us. So I take my will and my life back all the time. And this is that battle that I'm talking to you guys about. Even though I haven't picked up and relapsed, I am constantly struggling with this back and forth, right? Am I doing the right thing? Oh no, I haven't done this. Or this girl on YouTube pissed me off, so I cussed her out in the comment section. Or, girl, I'm telling you what, y'all. A lot of the things that I have that are like little battles and stuff are like fighting with people on the internet about the disease of addiction and trying to change people's minds. And I have to learn that I can't change anybody's mind, you know, that I have to just keep doing what I know is the right thing to do and keep sharing what I know is a good positive message, you know, but I get so caught up in wanting to like change everyone. And man, the only person that I can change is me. The only thing I can do is be better here inside me. And hopefully through my actions and my changes, other people will see that and take heed and actually practice that in their lives. That's how we can all inspire other addicts and alcoholics to get sober, is by living our lives sober and doing the right thing and treating others with kindness and love and tolerance and respect, you know, because there's nothing worse than seeing an addict who treats other people like dog shit, you know? And so we want to inspire other addicts by living our lives and being kind and loving. We want to inspire them to come over and get this way of life too, you know? Okay. At first our heads reeled with the questions. What will happen when I turn my life over? Will I become perfect? We may have been more realistic than this. Some of us had to turn to an experienced NA member and ask, what was it like for you? The answer will vary from member to member. Most of us feel open-mindedness, willingness, and surrender are the keys to this step. We have surrendered our will and our lives to the care of a power greater than ourselves. If we are thorough and sincere, we will notice a change for the better. Our fears are lessened and faith begins to grow as we learn the true meaning of surrender. We are no longer fighting fear, anger, guilt, self-pity, or depression. We realize that the power that brought us to this program is still within us and will continue to guide us if we allow it. We are slowly beginning to lose the paralyzing fear of hopelessness. The proof of this step is shown in the way we live. We have come to enjoy living clean and want more of the good things that the NA fellowship holds for us. We know now that we cannot pause in our spiritual program. We want all that we can get. We are now ready for our first honest self-appraisal, and we will begin with step 4. So you're probably asking, Nicole, what does it feel like to turn your will and your life over? Okay? I'm going to tell you guys, it's easy. Now, when I first started doing the 12 steps with my sponsor, the part that scared me about the 12 steps was the 4th step, because all these people made me feel like it was going to be so hard. And I'm here to tell you, it is not hard at all. People make it seem like it's hard, but it's not. There are even amazing worksheets, you guys, that you can get that will literally, all you have to do is fill in the blank. And that's how you work. That's how you can do your 4th step. Fill in the columns. But let me tell you about step 3. So I met with my sponsor. We actually met before a meeting one night, and I met her outside, and we sat in her car, and we said a prayer, and she helped me to pray and ask God to take my will and my life and to show me how to live and help me change my life. And just by that effort, that one day, I began making that effort every day. Okay, every morning when I wake up. Please take my will in my life and show me how to live clean. When I'm living in my higher power's will, I'm doing the right thing. I'm being kind. I'm being loving. I'm treating people with respect. When I'm living in Nicole's will, I'm acting like an asshole. I'm being jealous. I'm chewing other bitches out, cussing them out. I mean, that's when I'm in my will, because I'm a human being, you know? Just because I'm an addict in recovery doesn't mean I'm perfect. You know, I make mistakes just like everybody else. And I'm telling you guys, that's how you can really tell when I'm struggling, is when I'm coming for people or I'm being negative, because I'm not a negative person. I'm a kind, loving person. But when I'm struggling and I'm living in my own will and I'm letting my will take over, that's what will happen. I will turn into negative Nancy, negative Nicole, you know, and the first thing that starts showing when I am living in my own will is my fears and insecurities. My fear of not being accepted, my fear of not being loved by my husband, my fear of losing my son, my fear of what other people think about me and if they're going to judge me or not. All these things will start to show, and that's whenever you can tell, oh, Nicole's having a hard time right now. She must be struggling because all the things that I fear the most will start cropping up, and you can see it in the way I act. When I'm connected to my higher power and I'm really living in his light, then I'm not worried about what other people think about me. I'm thriving and I'm not worried about how I look on the camera or if I look fat today. I'm telling you guys, because I know that I'm a child of God and that he loves me no matter what, and that I am highly favored by him, and that he's walking with me every day. That's the only reason I'm even here. The only way I can explain it to you guys is that, my higher power has delivered me from the disease of addiction and changed my life forever. I don't ever want to have to go back to the way I was living before. And because of the 12 steps and because of people like you and my sponsor and my friends who are in recovery and my husband and my parents and my son, I'm able to be accountable and live my life, you guys, and have a great, amazing life, right? I'm not rich. I don't got a lot of money, but I'm telling you what, you guys, I'm happy. I'm rich in my heart. I'm rich in love. Hey, Ian, what time did I get on at 6? I got on at 6 o'clock at the top of the hour. So 47 minutes. So I came on a little bit early. I'm sorry. I came on an hour early today. I'm telling you guys, hey, Megan, girl, I came on early. I'm sorry. I was just sitting here at the house and my little boy is actually asleep. So I was like, I'm going to go ahead and get on while Nate fell asleep. He was just, let me tell y'all what happened. So me and Nate have been cleaning and doing laundry and all this stuff. And then he did all his little chores. He helped me do so much stuff. And then we were watching a little movie together, and he started crying because he wants me to go to Walmart and buy him a Thanos claw. Y'all who know who Thanos is? Me and Nate, look at me, Ian. I took him twice this week to the arcade to play video games. And so we were laying on the bed, just me and him, spending time together, and he started crying because he wanted that Thanos claw. And then the next thing I looked over, and he was fast asleep. He does. I'm telling you guys, my son is my saving grace. He is an angel from up above, and he has changed my life so much. And I feel guilty a lot of times because I feel like, am I doing a good enough job? Am I a good enough mom? I beat myself up, And I think all of us moms do that, Yes, that the Infinity Stones. Yes, Ian, that's what it is. He wants that so bad. I saw it at Walmart. It's only $20, so I guess I can surprise him. But you guys have to understand something. Nathaniel's an only child, so he gets spoiled all the time. Every time we go to the store, guess who gets a toy? Hey, Dragon Lady. Ooh, girl, that's what's up. Congratulations on your new job. You must be going into an important position. I'm so happy for you, Dragon Lady. I love you. So, yeah, I struggle a little bit, y'all, but I feel a lot better than I did at the beginning of this week. And I just want you guys to know who are in recovery. If you're struggling, let me know, and I will do whatever I can to help you. I was even telling my girls on Patreon, if you guys need help developing a relapse prevention plan. Okay, Krissy, I'll text you when I get off. Dragon Lady, that's awesome. What was I going to tell you guys? what was I saying? Oh yeah. I will help you guys like kind of devise a plan of action, you know, like a little program for your life. If anything y'all need help with, because here's the thing. I know you're like, Nicole, you can't help everybody, but honestly, you guys, like, I will say this and maybe one person will message me. That's how addicts and alcoholics are. They don't want to take help when it's offered to them. It's like pulling teeth to get y'all anybody to ask to actually reach out and take the help. Hey Liz, thank you. I did. Thank you so much. Oh, spoiled with toys in Walmart. So every time we go to the Walmart, Ian, he gets a gift. I'm going broke, y'all. And you guys also have to understand, I have buckets of toys that are this big and this tall in this room and that room and that room. I'm so proud of you, girl. Like, that's a good job. For real. I don't know if I could do that, being around all them pills now. I would be triggered. I mean, I might be able to do it, but I don't know. I haven't seen like narcotics like in a long time, 4 years, you know? So I'm proud of you though. And you know what? It always feels good to get a job and be like doing something to like, make some money. Um, Dragon Lady, over in that chat with were you yeah, were you in the chat last night over on Sam Telfer's channel where Captain was over there? Because today when I woke up, poor Captain was having such a hard time, and I felt she was so upset about Katie being upset with her. Right, Ian? That would help my wallet a lot. You know what, you guys? Nathaniel is a very good boy, and he loves me so much, and I love him more than life itself. And that's one of my goals for this week is to take Nate with me while I go do my workouts at the gym. I'm going to take Nate with me so he can do those little dance classes with me, maybe, if they'll let him come in there and do the little dance classes, because I want to do something with him where we can do it together, you know? And my son is so encouraging. At 5 years old, he's like, Mom, it's okay. We're going to get healthy together, you know? Okay. So, I'm going to make changes, you guys. I love him so much, Megan. He changed my life forever. I I cannot believe that it's been 4 years, since my son was removed from my care. Because that's what changed my life forever, you guys, when Nathaniel was taken away. Ian, I know. And listen to me, Ian. I'm gonna start trying to really just upload the 3 videos a week that I say I'm gonna do, because when I upload like so many times during the week, you guys can't catch up with all my videos. And so, hey Mount Zod, what's up? Hey, you guys, listen up. We got a new family member to the channel. I want you guys to all welcome Mount Zod. He is new in the recovery community, and he has a channel too. He's uploaded a video if y'all want to go check it out. But he is looking for support, you guys. And he went to his first 2 NA meetings this week, and he said it was the best experience he's had so far in his recovery, which was so amazing to hear. So you're welcome over here. We were just talking about my life. I actually, for those of you that just got here, I just got done reading step 3 in the big book, or in this. Hey, Vicky, what's up, girl? I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for coming over. And I saw your comment earlier, and I was just like, man, thanks a lot. That was just so kind of you. We just got done reading step 3, but since you guys are just getting here, I'll kind of like go over it really fast and like explain it to you a little bit, okay? So step 3 is we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him, okay? So in step 3, we're turning our will and our life over. Our will is our thinking and our lives are our actions. So we made a decision to turn our thinking and our actions over to the care of God as we understood him. Okay? For those of you that are like, well, I'm not really religious. I don't get down like that, right? With the God thing. That's why after it says the care of God, it says as we understood him. Because your higher power is specific to you. So whatever your higher power is, that's what you're turning your will and your life over to, which is your what? Your thinking and your actions. Step 3, that's all it is saying higher power or God or nature or the universe or altruism, whatever your higher power is, you're saying you're making an effort to say, take my will and my life and guide me in my recovery, right? So even when you wake up in the morning, this is what I do every morning when I start my day. I put my feet on, before I put my feet on the ground, I say, take my will in my life and show me how to live clean today. Guide me in my life. Every day when you wake up, do that. Ask for guidance, okay? And what you're doing, just like I said, so we are going to, through turning our thinking and our actions over to our higher power, our thinking is going to change. We are going to start making better decisions. And this is all through, changing our lives, living drug-free, doing the right thing, reading our NA literature, going to meetings, getting a support group, right? All these things are going to help us to change the way we think. Because when we're in active addiction, you guys, all we think about is drugs and alcohol and how we're going to get them and what we're going to do when we get them and all that kind of stuff, right? So that's all we think about. So now that we're sober, you got to understand is like, we're sober. Hey, Liz. Thank you, babe. Love you. Y'all, thank you so much, Liz. Just because we get sober and we take drugs and alcohol out of the equation, right? That doesn't mean that our brains are going to stop thinking about drugs and alcohol, especially because that's all we did for so long was obsess over alcohol and drugs, right? That's all we did. I don't know about you guys, but when I was in active addiction, my life revolved around how I was going to get high that day, okay? How I was going to get what I needed to get done and go out and get messed up, loaded. So now that we're in sobriety, we have to change that thought process. And that's what the 12 steps help us do. Okay, so let's rewind a little bit and we'll touch back on the first step. So the first step is we admitted, so we're starting out as we. I'm not saying I admitted, it's not saying you admitted, it's saying we, because we are a group of people. We are a fellowship. This is a togetherness, right? We admitted that we were powerless, okay? Powerless. Lose the power of choice, okay? You don't have you can't make good decisions. You can't make the right choices, okay? Were, though, it says that we were powerless. So I'm not powerless today. Today in my sobriety, I can make good decisions. Today in my sobriety, I have the power of choice. It's not until I take drugs and alcohol into my body that I lose the power of choice over our addiction, that our lives had become unmanageable. Okay? I feel like this can get tricky in step 1 because of a lot of people, maybe their lives to them were not unmanageable, right? But if you really think about it and you really look at your life, maybe you still had a job, okay? Maybe your kids were still there. That wasn't my experience. I lost my job. I lost my kids. I lost my house. I lost the man. I lost everything because of my addiction. And that's what happens. The farther along down the road you go, eventually you would get there. Promise you that. it just happens at different times for everybody, you guys. But a lot of people will look at their lives in active addiction and they will justify and rationalize the using, right? Because maybe they still have a job. Maybe they think nobody in their family knows, right? That's the hardest. I feel like those are the hardest people to break because, like my husband, for instance, he never lost his job, right? He always was able to find a job and have a car and have a place to live. So he had a lot harder time than me letting go and actually becoming willing to get sober because he would look back at his life and he would say, well, I have a job. I went to college. I'm doing good, you know? And for me, I knew that my life was completely unmanageable because my life had fallen to smithereens. Like you guys might as well turn up, put gasoline on me, got a light and torched me because that's what happened to me. I lost everything because of my addiction. Everything, you guys, everything. Cars, everything. Got my car impounded. I lost my house. I lost my job. So many jobs. Okay. I lost my dignity, my respect. I lost my family. I lost my son for a little bit. So much, you guys, because of my addiction. So whenever I hear people saying, well, like, I never lost my job, just because you didn't lose your job doesn't mean it can't happen. And also, that's not a reason to continue on getting high and drunk. Just because you still have your job doesn't mean that you're okay, right? But that's a justification and a rationalization, especially for an addict who still wants to use. We have to get to a point, you guys, where we don't want to get high anymore, right? Vicky, girl, you're speaking my language. I'm a cross addict, you guys. I'm cross addicted. Okay, I'm not just addicted to drugs and alcohol. I'm addicted to food. I'm addicted to spending money. I'm addicted to anything that makes me feel good. And so cross addiction happens to a lot of us, and that has happened to me. And so now in my sobriety, I'm trying to really start working on my other addiction, which is coping with food. Me too, girl. Me too, Vicky. Unmanageable. Okay, I'm going to share something so embarrassing with you guys. My husband came home for lunch today, and when he came home, he called and he was like, hey, I'm going to pick up Popeye's chicken for us. We'll have Popeye's, a little treat, you know? And I was like, okay, yeah, I want the shrimp. That's what I like. When my husband got here, he had a box with 6 chicken strips in it and the little itty bitty sides of mashed potatoes and red beans and rice. And I looked at him, I said, well, where's the rest of it? He goes, this is it. You know, I'm going to have 2 chicken strips. You can have 2 chicken strips, and they can have 2 chicken strips. And then these little sides like this. And I started crying, you guys, over the food. I was like, I'm hungry. That's not enough to feed one person. And I freaked out. And then I thought about it, you guys. It's so embarrassing, you guys. And I was like, what are you doing, Nicole? You're freaking out over Popeyes. But I'm telling you, when he called and he was like, I'm bringing home Popeyes, I was like, hell yeah. You know, I was like, I'm fixing to eat good. And then he brought home like one meal, literally, like 6 chicken strips, the little sides like this, 2 biscuits, and 2 pieces of pie and a drink. And I was just like, Neil, there is 2 adults and 1 child here, right? And so, Vicky, when I thought about that, I said, oh my God, Nicole, like I look like Professor Clump or something over here tripping over a chicken meal, you know? And I was crying, you guys. And I was like, Nicole, I ended up, of course, I made amends. I absolutely went over to Neil and I said, I'm so sorry that I overreacted. I'm sorry I snapped at you. I love you so much. I was just really looking forward to that shrimp. you know, but you see how, like, just that little thing right there with food and the obsessive thinking that I have around food, that's what my addiction has went over to now. And so it's really is a struggle, you guys, especially if you have the disease of addiction. It can go to so many different things. So the fact that I identified that I was overreacting and that I was acting inappropriately when it comes to like food, you know, and I was able to make amends, apologize to my husband and let him know that I was sorry and make it right. That's good. You know, back in the day, I would have thought that I was justified, right? But I wasn't, you guys. Like, it's because of the food addiction that I have, of the reasons why I respond like that. So, Vicky, you and me are on the same page, girl. Okay, step 2 was we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Sanity is the ability to think and behave in a rational manner. Means you're of sound mental health. Okay? We came to believe that a power greater than ourselves. All you have to do in step 2 is believe in a power greater than yourself, that power can restore you to sanity. That's it. That's it. You don't have to even believe in that power yet. All you have to believe is that power can restore you. Okay? And if you don't believe, all you have to do is believe that I believe. Believe that this group of people here in this meeting believe. And that can happen for you. That's all you got to do, you guys. So simple. Hey, baby. Oh, you want some chicken? No, it wasn't a dream. Daddy brought home chicken. You want some? And mashed potatoes? And a biscuit? So that's all you have to do. So that was step 2. And then, you know, step 3 was we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. So anyway, Nate just got up, so I'm going to go get him laying down. I started early today, so I'm sorry, you guys. But I want you all to know that I love you guys so, so much. Tomorrow, I don't upload. But Tuesday, I will be on again at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I have a special guest coming on Tuesday night, and I have a special guest coming on Friday to share their stories. So Friday night is Dr. B, and Tuesday is going to be a surprise. I'm not going to tell y'all who it is. So I love you guys, and I hope you have a great night, and I'll see y'all later. Welcome to the family, Mount Zod.